North Korea is warning all foreign embassies in the country to be on alert and prepared to evacuate their staff if tensions flare up. EU countries as well as Russia have confirmed they received the message. Moscow says Russia is working closely with the United States, China and South Korea over a possible evacuation of diplomatic staff. Bulgaria says all foreign ambassadors have been called in by North Korean Foreign Ministry, telling them that it's ready to help if they want to pull their diplomatic staff out. But the British Foreign Office says Pyongyang has not asked the UK embassy to evacuate. As the tensions are increasing on the Korean peninsula, thousands of North Koreans have rallied against the United States and South Korea, whose joint military drills have outraged Pyongyang. North Korean students are being trained in military camps in case a war breaks out. The US says it's boosting its military capabilities near North Korea. Kevin Barrett, author and political commentator, joins me from Madison for his thoughts on the situation in the Korean Peninsula. Welcome to the programme, sir. Professor, North Korea is giving diplomats 4 days to evacuate. Just how serious is the situation getting?
Well, it sounds like all of the officials on both sides are agreeing that it's getting very serious, that both sides are not leaving themselves an obvious and easy way to back down. So I think there is a certain amount of danger here. And of course, the danger in part stems from the arrogance of the U.S., which has been trying to take over the world in an accelerated neo-imperial strategy since September 11, 2001. We've seen destabilizations of countries all over the world, especially in the Middle East. We've seen the destruction of Iraq, Libya. Now they're trying to do it to Syria. And Korea, North Korea, independent Korea, they have their backs to the wall, and they're saying we're not going to back down any further. They're saying we have a nuclear weapon, and they're making these kinds of seemingly exaggerated nuclear threats to blow up Washington, D.C., which, by the way, a great many Americans, actually, their first reaction to that idea is, it sounds good to us. You know, Americans have hated Washington, D.C. and everything it represents for, well, much of the history of the Republic. But joking aside, I think that this is a very, very grave situation, and the obvious solution is for international law and diplomacy to be invoked between equals. We've got to get out of this mindset that the U.S. empire and its partners play by one set of rules and everybody else has to do what they say. We need to have real diplomacy, which means discussions between equals. And I think ultimately the U.S. has to tell North Korea that we're going to get out of your neighborhood and let you settle this issue of how to reunite Korea between all of yourselves, North and South.
Indeed, but I mean, how can diplomacy get through? I mean, we know that the United States has positioned its nuclear battalion in South Korea. So with this in place, I mean, do you think there will be a nuclear or chemical attack?
Well, it certainly wouldn't be in anybody's interest. The U.S. would lose what little legitimacy it currently enjoys if it were to actually use nuclear weapons against North Korea. But unfortunately, given the U.S. record since World War II, we can't rule that out. The U.S. has threatened dozens of nations with nuclear weapons since World War II. The U.S. destroyed 80% of all standing Korean buildings, from private homes and shacks and barns up to city buildings in the Korean War. And North Koreans remember this. And that's probably one of the reasons that they're not very friendly towards the U.S. And that's one of the reasons that they chose to develop a nuclear deterrent to try to prevent further imperial attacks.
Indeed. Well, we'll leave it there for the time being. Many thanks to Kevin Barrett, author and political commentator from Madison. Thanks for your time there, sir.